If you're still stuck in a 9 to 5 thinking you need a social media following, a product or big budget, even a team before you can quit, you've been lied to. I escaped my $120,000 a year tech sales job in San Francisco at the age of 24. And now I make much more than that while building my business here in Vietnam. But here's the truth. I quit before I even made a single dollar online. In fact, I lived off of my savings for an entire year, burned most of it, and only then when my back was against the wall, that's when I actually started making real money. And to date, I've made over $1 million in online sales. If I had to start over and do this all today, here's how I would escape my 9 to 5 in just 90 days, without an audience, without a product, and without relying on burning through my life savings. And in this video, I'm gonna give you the complete day-by-day blueprint for you to copy while you're still working your full-time job. But to start, we need to understand why most people stay stuck in their 9 to 5s. You see, a few years back, I started my career at Oracle. Then later, I joined a YC-backed startup called Lob.com. Only after a couple years working in the trenches, then I actually quit and moved to Chiang Mai in Thailand, the land of digital nomads. After college, I actually tried to start my own business, but it failed. And I realized that it was because I didn't know how to make money. Specifically, I didn't know how to sell. So I asked around, and one of my friends was actually working at Oracle. And so they said, yeah, if you join Oracle, they're gonna teach you how to sell. And so that's the only reason I actually got a job. Did really well my first year. And then I moved over to a YC-backed startup, Lob. You know, I wanted that startup experience, right? I want to get closer to what it's like to actually be an entrepreneur, not just working for somebody else. So in a way, Oracle taught me that corporate structure, what it means to be a gear and a machine, but you know, in a positive way, you can say. And then Lob really taught me like what it really takes to build a high growth startup. Both companies were pretty good and I had a great experience there. I got paid pretty well, so I'm not complaining. But as I was progressing through my sales career, I was basically being sold a different kind of dream, right? So every company I would join, whether it's Oracle or Lob or even other tech companies, what they would say, if you are a really good sales rep, you can become a field sales rep. Basically, it's just like the highest level of sales, right? And they said like, yeah, you can make $400K to $1 million per year just selling our products. And it's, you get to own the territory, right? So they're giving that sense of ownership to people who have that entrepreneurial spirit, but want to work within a company. I was sold that dream over and over. And for a while when I was working in sales, I thought that's what I wanted to do. Just keep climbing the ladder, right? And get ownership. But the reality was I wasn't really getting ownership, okay? I was just getting paid really well. It wasn't really my company. It was another person's company. I kind of remembered the only reason for why I got a job in the first place was to build my own business. And if I'm being sold this new dream, is that even my dream? I came to the conclusion that I would rather just take a chance on myself. Because the reality is when you're working at a high level at these top tech companies, you probably have the ability to start your own business because the complexity and challenges it takes to do well in these jobs, they're not more difficult than starting your own small business, right? Or building a personal brand. And so when I realized this, and I also had the ability to basically sell technology and pretty much sell anything, I knew that it was time to quit. And so I took my life savings, quit cold turkey, and I just moved over to Chiang Mai in Thailand to try to figure it out and do this whole digital nomad thing. So if you're watching this and you find yourself in a similar situation, you might think, oh, wow, that's pretty crazy that you would give up this $120K job per year and you're only 24. The reason why most people don't start their own business is really just fear. The first is when you're making a pretty good income, like in that 6-figure range, you're afraid to lose it because it is a good job. I got there pretty fast at 24, but other people, they might get there at like 27, 30, 33, even older sometimes, right? And you know, everyone has a different pace. And so you might be thinking, oh, like I'm too old or it's too late. Like I'm already so settled. Like how can I give this up? You know, your reality is determined by what you think. And if you believe that is true, then that is going to be your reality. But if you believe that there is still time and you still have energy and you still want to pursue your dreams, you absolutely should. Why not? But the next problem there is even if you want to pursue your dreams, you might feel like, where do I even begin? How do I even start? Do I even have time to do a side hustle and work a full-time job? And these are all very valid points. What I'm going to show you in this video is really a roadmap on how you can actually build an online business while you have a full-time job. Because the key is not to fight against this force. It's to use all your assets and all your experiences to your advantage. So if you do have a 9 to 5 job, great. You know, you're working 8-9 hours a day and you can spend the rest of the time building your business. And so I'm going to show you the best way to do it that requires the least amount of time to get traction and more importantly, to actually get high paying clients, because once you can get the clients, everything starts to become real. Now, as I go through this entire blueprint, I'm going to be using the Founder X Escape Your 9 to 5 90 Days Workbook. If you want a copy of this entire workbook for yourself so that you can fill it out as you watch the video or fill it out after you watch the video, I actually put a link in the description for you to download it for free. So definitely want to check that out. Now, this workbook that I designed is actually part of my program Founder X, where I essentially help people build online businesses, build a personal brand, and get clients online. I'm going to walk you through this entire process from day 1 all the way to day 90 and show you step by step exactly what you should be doing. So in the first week of this, my goal for you is to just take massive action. A lot of people out here are just making excuses and they just overthink and they try to come up with a business idea. Then 6 months passes and nothing happens, right? So let's just take massive action and get some results in 7 days. In phase 1, we're going to help you find your business idea. We're going to show you how to outreach potential clients and create your first pieces of content. And the most important part is you want to not overthink it and just do it, okay? Like nothing has to be perfect. You're not married to the business idea. Just think of it like a side project. If it fails, who cares? But if it works, it changes your life. Basically, day 1, spend 60 to 90 minutes just answering these very simple questions. And this is for you to get your business idea. Number 1, what do people consistently come to me for advice? So if they ask you for fitness advice, marketing advice, sales advice, maybe you're a killer sales rep and everyone's asking you, how are you so good, right? Question number 2, what painful challenge have I successfully overcome in the last 12 to 24 months? So a lot of times you're going through things at work, or maybe it's in your personal life, and you overcome these major breakthroughs. And chances are other people who are similar to you are experiencing those same problems. And if those problems are big enough, they will pay you money to make those problems go away. It doesn't have to be related to your work, although that helps a lot. It could be outside if you're just good at other things. Number 3, what valuable skill or insight do I have that my past self would gladly pay to learn, right? I'm sure you've been through a lot of experience. You have a lot of things that you can pass on to the next generation. What are things that you wish you knew that would completely change the game for you? For me, it's probably learning how to make content, learning how to sell. Those 2 are pretty game changers in my life, to be honest, right? And so I would try to teach my younger self that as quickly as possible. Number 4, what unique edge or experience makes me better at solving this problem than most people? You want to actually be different, right? You don't want to be doing something that everyone else can do. Otherwise, you're just a commodity. Number 5, what new skill or industries are you extremely passionate about learning? Because it's not about just the skills you have. It could be the things that you desire to learn. So a lot of people that I work with, they're really into AI. Only recently, everyone started to use like ChatGPT. So right now, you can be an expert in ChatGPT and all these other tools and start making YouTube content, right? There's no rules to a game in new industries. And so once you've written the answers to all 5 of these questions, you want to copy and paste the answer and questions combined with these prompts into ChatGPT or your AI of choice. And you want to say, you are an expert at helping people start online businesses and profitable personal brands. Using my answers below, which you copy and pasted, do research on the market in where the best business opportunity is right now and come up with a 1-sentence explanation for the top 5 business ideas in this format. I help this type of person get this result without certain obstacle and time frame. 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. Like in this example, I help you build an online business even if you have a 9 to 5 job in 90 days. So basically you copy all of your answers and everything, put it in ChatGPT, and then it will basically give you 5 different one-liners, which are essentially your business ideas. For this example, I'm going to say I'm a tech sales rep and I have 5 years of experience and I'm really passionate about helping other people become tech sales rep and I want to be some kind of sales coach, right? I have all my answers here and then I would basically copy and paste it here. Then I would take this, copy and paste it there, and just put it inside the prompt. Easy as that. And so what should happen is I'm gonna get 5 one-liners to come up with my business idea. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. You just have to get started. Here are some 5 examples. Helping people with career changes to land 100K tech sales offers in 90 days, pretty good. I help ambitious professionals break into tech sales. I help new graduates secure 6-figure tech sales jobs. I help working professional transitions into high income tech sales. So overall, the idea is I'm gonna help people get into tech sales because everybody wants to sales tech. You get a high base, high salary, right? That makes sense. So you basically do this for your particular skill sets and your niche, and then you would just have 5 answers. Based on the one that feels the most right with you for this exercise, just pick one and keep rolling with it. So now that we got your business idea, and for this example, I'm gonna be a sales coach helping other people get high-paying 6-figure tech sales job, just like what I did in the past. We're gonna go into day 2. Build your simple 1-pager offer, right? And so what this really is when you're selling people on the phone, You're going to tell them like what you're all about. And then when they say, oh, can I get like a one pager of like, what's this whole coaching thing anyways, this is what you would send them, right? And essentially it's really just a Google Doc. And I'll show you my first one, right? So for my Founder X program, when I first sold it, I basically gave people this Google Doc and I would sell them on the phone. They would be like, oh, wow, it's really cool. Can you send me something? And I would send them this, right? And you can see it's just a one pager. It's like, hey, it's Patrick here. Now, if you're reading this, chances are we already had a chat over the phone. And then it would kind of go into mission, the coaching, how many coaching calls they get, the curriculum inside the course. This was like version 1, right? So since then, everything has improved. So I'm not really using this document anymore. But in the beginning, I made tens of thousands of dollars on the initial people who joined the program, just literally off of this Google Doc, no website. Really, it's just like book a call, sell them on the phone, send them this, and that was it, right? It's simple as that. Now, for you to do it, all you have to do is essentially get these questions, answer them, and then use this AI prompt to create your one pager, right? For this example, I already created, just ideas for this offer that we're creating. And then I'm gonna copy and paste the AI prompt here, and then you just drop it here. And then what's gonna happen is it's gonna send you an entire one pager, right? ChatGPT can actually do a lot of the work, but you need the core ideas to be good to make this work. So we got the 100K tech sales fast track, land your first high paying tech sales job in 90 days. Who is this for? Bang. Problem, boom, so you kind of get the idea, right? And then it kind of gives you like all the stuff that you're gonna get. So basically you can copy and paste it, put it into a Google Doc, make sure it's formatted well and it's aesthetically pleasing. And that's pretty much it. Pro tip, if you ever get stuck on this process, here's a simple fix. All you gotta do is just find 3 people who are selling something and doing something that you wanna do, go through their entire funnel, go on their website, get on the phone with the salesperson and just see what do they offer? What are they giving? What's the price point? If chances are, if they're selling it to you, it's probably working in the market. So you should maybe take inspiration from that, remix it, put it in ChatGPT and create your own offer, right? So now that we got the offer, let's go into day number 3. And that's just spending 20 minutes setting up your CRM. In this document, which you can download, which is the link is in the description, I'm gonna give you this basic CRM. You don't need Salesforce, you don't need HubSpot, you don't need any of these, fancy CRMs. Just do it for free. Just download this, file, make a copy, and it's yours, right? Essentially, it's just first name, last name, company, and what platform you're reaching out to them on, the status of like, hey, like they're deciding, it's closed, they didn't close, whatever, right? And then do their contact information. It's just the simplest way to get started. It doesn't have to be fancy as long as you have a place where you're keeping track of all the people that you reach out to. So that's in day 3, right? We got our offer, we got our one pager, we're building our list, right? Day number 4, all right? It hasn't even been a week yet. You want to make a list of 20 people that you want to potentially reach out to and reach out to them. You would basically take this, find 20 people, 20 companies, whether it's creator, B2B companies, it all depends on your niche. And then you just reach out to them with a simple framework I gave you. Let's say it's LinkedIn, right? You send them a connection request. Hey, John, really great connecting with you here. I saw that you helped accounting firms generate more sales. That's amazing, man. Hey, just curious. I saw on your job posting that you guys were looking for more marketers, and I was curious to know how the search was going to find this person. It's not about the template, it's about the framework. Just come in, compliment them on something, agitate a problem that they have based on your research. Let's say they're looking for marketers, and maybe you can just be their marketing agency so they don't have to hire someone full-time. And then that person will be like, oh, maybe this guy's interested in the job, so I'll just talk to them to see what they're about. Over time, you suggest, get on the phone, and you sell. Now, I'm gonna give you the most important strategy when it comes to outbound, and this is how you're going to scale while having everything personalized. The first is, when you do a campaign and you're picking your 20 people you want to reach out to, pick a specific industry, find a specific problem that particular company may face. And so those 20 people that you're reaching out to, they should all have the same problem. This way you can pretty much send all 20 people the same exact message, but it feels as if it was personalized because it's for their industry, for their specific problem in this particular time. And most businesses actually all face similar challenges. So if you ever get stuck, you can go to ChatGPT and say something like, give me 50 startup companies that just raised more than 1 million in funding in the content and AI space. These days, you can give AI a prompt and give your requirements of like industry, revenue, like all these kinds of things. And there are other tools for this as well. But if you just want to like get things going and get started, this is the fastest way to do it. So it's giving me a list. So basically I would add each of these people onto my CRM, which is the Google Sheet I gave you. And then you would find, 3 to 4 people at each company. Usually it's director levels and above within the department that you're trying to sell into, right? And so that's pretty much it. And then from there, you can just like keep building the list, right? So here it says like, oh, would you like 50? And then you can just basically ask it to keep going, right? Go more beyond 7. So that's pretty much the outreach. So in day 4, make a list of 20 people you want to reach out to, your dream clients. Send out the first message. See what happens. On day 4, you're sending the messages, and now on day 5, we want to get the momentum going and create content. This is important because when you create content, your chance of someone actually responding to your cold messages, whether it's cold email, LinkedIn, is going to be higher because you have a brand now. People can see you're real. If you just DM'd 100 people and you have no social media following, they can't find you on YouTube, they can't find you on Instagram, they can't find you anywhere, why would they respond? Here's how you're gonna make your first piece of content. And again, it's not about making the content good. It's about just getting the ball rolling so that you build momentum. So you just use this framework. If you're doing LinkedIn, you can just find a picture of you pretending to work on a laptop or on the phone. I do those all the time on LinkedIn, it works. And then you just write a really nice post. You can do the same thing on Instagram as well. A script can be used for written copy or it can be used for video. Generally, the same rules apply. So the hook, just start with some kind of attention grabbing line and then talk about the pains, solution, why it matters, call to action. Very simple, right? In the example that I gave, let's say I'm trying to help someone get a 6-figure tech sales job. So I can say something like, I was making 6 figures at the age of 24 and I didn't even have 2 years of sales experience. Hook, right? People are interested. Pain. It could be like, but the problem is most people think you need 10 years of experience before you can get a high paying tech sales job at a company like Oracle. Solution. But actually, straight out of college, without any real sales experience besides one internship, I was able to land a job that other people were fighting for at the age of 40, which was actually true. I really jumped the ladder when I joined Oracle at the time. And then I can explain how exactly I did that and then why it matters. So if you're looking to break into a high-paying tech sales job and be at the top 1% of companies like Salesforce, HubSpot, let me show you how, right? Comment coach in the comments and I'll send you a DM and we can have a conversation, right? Simple as that. You see, that would work in an Instagram video. It would work for a YouTube short. It would work for a LinkedIn post. It would work for even Instagram post, right? It's more about the story and just following the format. And yeah, you can actually just copy and paste this whole thing, put in your story loosely into each section and then have AI write it for you. But be warned, don't think AI will do all the work for you. It's not quite there yet. It'll take you 70% of the way there, but you got to do the rest. And if you don't do the rest, you will literally sound like everybody else and nobody will engage with your content. All right, now we're moving to day number 6. We're getting a lot done, right? Comment and connect. You want to spend 30 minutes, you can do it during lunch, you can do it on your free time, before work, really up to you. Reach out to 20 new people a day, okay? So if you do 20 people a day, every day, 5 days a week, that's going to be 400 people a month. Pretty good, okay? Someone's gonna respond. The next thing is you wanna leave meaningful 5 to 10 comments on other creators' content that your ideal avatar follows. Let's say, you wanna siphon my audience. Every time I post a video or post something on LinkedIn, you wanna comment on that and say something insightful because the people that like me may like you as well. And you can just take some of my audience, right? Essentially, that's how you grow when you don't have any followers and nobody knows who you are. Yeah, you can allow the algorithm to do its work, but it might take a while. But if you're commenting on everyone's stuff, you're just getting free eyeballs, free impressions, and a small percentage of those people will follow you and become fans, but you snowball that so that each of your posts moving forward gets more and more engagement. Either you're gonna create a bunch of content, increase the volume like crazy, or you're gonna do that combined with this. And then from there, every person that engages with your content, right? Let's say it's on LinkedIn, you post something insightful on my post, and then you wanna siphon my audience, another person says a comment replying back to you, you DM them because that's someone who's kind of interested in your perspective, right? You say, hey, John, great connecting with you here. I saw that you helped da-da-da-da. Just curious, are you here for the content or looking to also grow your business or also looking to get a high paying tech sales job? So that's a really common one. It's like, are you here for the content or are you here for a desired result? And it absolutely does work. And they're gonna say, oh yeah, I was looking for a tech sales job, but I'm not really sure what to do. Talk to them a little bit, then get on the call. That simple. So now we're 1 week into this, okay? And we probably got more done than most people do in a year. Day number 7, audit and optimize. Spend 30 minutes to reach out to 20 new prospects. Again, the thing is, you have to keep prospecting, right? People aren't going to come to you yet unless you're snowballing in content. So you got to go out to them. So you spend 30 minutes outreaching new people, spend 1 hour building a list of 150 to 120 people. So now we're going big, right? So before we're only doing 20 a day, now we're increasing the flow. And if you want, you can actually just make your list ahead of time and then just do 20 outbounds a day. At this point, people should be responding to you. Other people might ghost you. And then you want to go back to people on day number 4, which you started, sending them messages and just follow up. Follow-ups are so simple. It's like, hey, John, John, just want to follow up on my previous message about helping you solve this thing, if it still makes sense to talk. So follow-ups, I've learned that you keep it simple, 1 sentence, 2 sentence max. You don't have to repeat everything. You're just re-pinging them. And the chance of them responding to a follow is really high. It's as high as actually the first message. And the second and third follow-up are also very similar too. So if your first message got 5% response rate, your second one might get 5, your third one might get 3, your fourth one might get 6, right? That's like generally how it works. It's not all the time, but that's how you want to think about it. And so after the first week, we should have people responding. We should have your first piece of content out. We should potentially have some meetings. And now we're going to move into phase 2, which is turning that momentum into monetization and actually making money. So we're going to move to days 8 to 30. So in phase 2, it's really about signing clients here. And when I work with people personally through the Founder X program, the ones that are really hardworking and smart, they can get their clients in like 2 weeks after working with me, right? It's really not that hard if you just follow the process. The key is to stay consistent with the outreach and creating content. That's really all it is at the end of the day. Sales and content. Some days you might feel like nothing is working. Some days you might feel like, wow, I'm killing it, right? Everyone's responding, right? And so it doesn't matter what you feel, you just have to keep going so that your trajectory keeps going up. Do not let your emotions control your inputs, stay consistent and stick to the plan. Non-negotiables that you need to have as you continue through phase 2. Every day, at least 20 new leads per day, outreach them. And every day, spend 1 hour following up with people that didn't respond, updating your CRM, creating content and posting it, and refining the offer based on the conversations you have with people over the phone or in the DMs, right? So minimum, you gotta be spending 1 hour and 30 minutes a day. And if you cannot spend 1 hour and 30 minutes a day on your business, what are you even doing, right? Like, let's be honest here. So now we're at day 10, and this is where you're gonna post your second piece of content. And our goal here, just to get you started, is to show your expertise, your authority, and your credibility, that you are who you say you are and people can trust you online. You don't wanna be this how-to creator, hey guys, here's my top 5 tips. You want to show authority. And the best way to show authority is to show you're real, show the results you're getting for your clients, and show people what it's actually like to be working with you. So for this piece of content, copy, put it on LinkedIn or whatever platform you choose, and talk about any big wins you had in your career, on your journey. It can be from your professional or personal life. Just get it out there. You're gonna freeze up. You're gonna be like, oh, I don't know if anyone cares. Doesn't matter. It's your second post. Nobody will care anyways. They might, but you want to just keep building the momentum. And now we're gonna jump to day 14, right? So just a note, from day 10 to 14th, you are still sending 20 outbounds per day, following up with all the leads that didn't respond, should be booking calls. So at this point, you should have messaged like 150 to 200 people. And you wanna look at your responses and see what's working, what's not, what the meeting rate is, to see if it's actually working. And think about things you can do to increase your response rates and your meeting rates. And at the same time, I would actually recommend trying to post a piece of content every single day, depending on the platform, right? If you're doing YouTube once a week, if you're doing LinkedIn 5 times a week, if you're doing Instagram, ideally every day. So again, it depends on which platform you're creating on and how much effort it takes to create that piece of content. Like on YouTube, like a video like this, it's like we're posting like 1 a week, right? But if I was doing LinkedIn, we're posting 1 almost every single day, because it's easier. And it's really just building momentum of doing outbound and creating content. Jumping into day 17 to 21, this is where you can actually switch things up to increase your response rates now that you got things flowing. So what does this flow mean? So for high potential clients, people that you really want to work with, right? It's worth it to send them a quick 20 to 30-second personalized video or voice message. You can even do like a Loom video where you just like record your screen, which is actually what I'm using to make this video right now, actually. You just want to make sure you mention their name, reference their business or whatever post or something relevant to them, explain what problem you're solving, agitate the problem a little bit, and ask them if they would be open to, let's say, you sending over some kind of resource, document, or a strategy session, right? So I'll do it for you live. Just gonna freestyle this. Hey, John, saw that you were working in real estate for the last 5 years. That's amazing, man. I noticed that a lot of real estate agents, especially in the market you're in, they're kind of having trouble generating consistent commissions. And I know it's hard when the economy is going down, no one's really buying houses, and you can only make money when you sell a house. And actually I was curious to see if you were looking for new opportunities, especially when it comes to tech sales, because I know that you could probably take the same skills you have and you're probably really good at what you do, and you can just sell technology and get a very high base and commissions. And entry-level roles for this is actually like 75K USD, and you can quickly make 6 figures plus very fast. I mean, for me, I got there in my first year. So if you're open to it, we'd love to chat about how I might be able to help you break in. If you're interested, we can get on the call. So let me know, man. Thanks. That's it, right? It's so simple. It gets to the point. You know, if you have a good personal brand, you're creating good content, you're providing value, and you hit them with that message, it's a Loom video or voice message, they might feel like, wow, that's kind of interesting. Check out your content. He kind of knows what he's talking about. Okay, you know what? Let me just jump on the call. It's really that simple, guys. Now we're going to jump into day 22, right? This is where you're going to switch it up a little bit, and I'm going to help you write a post. And this is going to be your origin story post. So this post is really just to tell your story, attract clients who have similar problems to you, especially in early stages of your career. And you're really just explaining where you were at, what challenge you faced, and how you overcame those challenges. Relatability, right? And if you have any results that you got or your clients got and what your life looks like now, that would be good as well. And you want to have a call to action, encouraging people to reach out if they need help with solving the problem, right? For this particular template in the workbook, I'm going to go ahead and just write like half of it for you, and you just want to fill it in with your information. So we got the hook, the pain, solution. I mean, if you copy and paste it and then you said like, help me write a LinkedIn post using my info above, using this template, right? Then I just paste it. Again, it's only going to get you 70% of it there because it's not going to sound super natural, but you want to fix it up so that it does sound natural, right? So, you know, it could be like 3 years ago, I was broke, burnt out, pretending I had all figured out. Here's how I went from overworked tech sales rep to barely surviving to helping others land 100K tech sales job. This doesn't make sense in the context. I think I would have to say something like I was working at McDonald's or something and barely scraping by until then I figured out I can, you know, be a tech sales rep, right? That would probably make more sense. But you kind of get the idea, right? You're gonna have to massage it a little bit, run it a couple times, and then eventually you'll get there. An important part is to have some kind of call to action. It could be DM me sales. A lot of times for LinkedIn, I'll just put like follow me, you know, at Patrick Dang, and then when they follow me, I can just DM them. Now that we got your origin story, we just keep it going from day 22 to, you know, day 24, 26. You're still doing 20 DMs a day. You're still trying to post like 5 pieces of content short form every week, or you're still posting like 1 YouTube long form every week, right? At this point, we're getting close to 30 days. So we're going to run a audit sprint. We're going to offer free help to people and solve their burning problems, right? So an audit, FYI, is really just an excuse to get them on a call, which is essentially a sales call. But the way you frame it and the narrative is positioning like, hey, I'm helping people do this thing. If you have this problem, would love to chat. You could just do a quick post like, this weekend, I'm doing 3 free audits, people stuck at this thing. I'll break down what's working, what's not. I'm sending you the custom 3-step, whatever. DM me audit, I'll send it. So if I was helping people, let's say, escape their 9-to-5 and build a business using their skills, right? I can say on LinkedIn, hey guys, this weekend, I'm doing 3 free audits. If you are a highly skilled professional and you feel like you should be working for yourself because you have the skills, but you just don't know where to start, and you know about the idea of a personal brand, but you don't know how to take the first step, I'm actually doing 3 free audits where I'm going to sit down with you, analyze all your problems, and figure out what the best step is moving forward to sell your skills online and build a personal brand. If that's interesting to you at all, DM the word audit in the comments and I will send you a DM. From the audience perspective, reading my content like that, if they see I have like 300,000 followers on YouTube and I have like 30,000 followers on LinkedIn, they're going to want my advice because they're going to think like, wow, this guy knows what he's talking about. I would love a free audit. Then if it makes sense to work together, what am I going to do? I'm going to sell them, right? Of course, that's the natural progression. Selling is not bad. It's just perception. People would love to pay you. Actually, just today I closed a deal, and then when the person bought, they were like, you know, Patrick, I just love to buy things. I love to learn, right? So when I buy, you know, a coaching program, and they bought a coaching program from me, they were like, yeah, you know, it kind of feels like buying a new iPhone, right? So you got to understand, like, it's not scary to sell. Like, there are actually people out there that love to buy stuff, but you have to be something or somebody worth buying from. That is the key. If you suck and you're not positioning yourself well, nobody's going to want to buy from you, and sales is going to be such a pain in the ass. Now we're moving to phase 3. Okay. So we got 30 days done. You know, for some of you guys, if you follow the steps, you will have already got your first client, like legitimately, I'm not even joking. But if you haven't got your first client yet, it's cool because day 31 to 90, let's get them. It's time to reflect on what's working. So the main variables we're really looking at are, what are the type of content that are attracting qualified leads? What type of DM conversations are working? Which ones are booking calls? What are the major problems does your ideal avatar have? And how can we use this problem to refine the offer and just make better content and develop a better sales strategy, right? We also want to position you, your name, and your brand as an authority and thought leader in this space, right? Because we live in a commoditized world with YouTube and ChatGPT. So the only thing that really makes you different is your personality at this point. At this stage, you should have messaged at least 500 people. Maybe you've closed 1 or 2 deals, and you should have more clarity on what you're selling. Because in the beginning, you're just guessing. But once people pay you money, you kind of know. So now it's time to scale up the trust, scale up the traffic, and increase our prices if it makes sense. So day 31 to day 60, build your growth engine. So that Google Doc that you created in the beginning, you want to update that. Add testimonials, screenshots of your client, and improve the copy. Use the language that your clients are using. Speak the way they speak. And your unique method of getting them the result, call it something, unique, right? So if you're helping people get a tech sales job, it could be like the tech sales blueprint, the 6-figure tech sales blueprint. It doesn't matter what the name is, it's just cool, right? It makes it sound more official. Then you want to automate the daily outputs. I mean, it's really not automating quite yet, but it's really just like being consistent. That's like 30 to 60 minutes a day. You're going to write, film content. You're always creating content. You can never stop. Okay. You can never stop because that's how you get inbound leads, and you want to create content to build your brand. You also want to spend 30 minutes a day reaching out to 20 people a day. Okay. 5 days a week. 60 minutes on delivering client results, right? Getting on calls, coaching calls, or, providing a service, and collecting testimonials, whether it's text, video, interviews, whatever you can. Now for me on my website, obviously we have video testimonials that people can watch. We have the text testimonials. And so I got quite a bit of testimonials. And what I'll do is, depending on the conversation I have on the phone, I'll just pick the testimonial that best fits that person. So if they're like a 9-to-5 employee and they want to escape and build their own online business, I'm going to take the examples of other people that I help do that exact thing and become digital nomads like I've done, and share their success stories, right? And they're going to feel like, oh my God, like that's exactly what I'm trying to do, Patrick. Where do I sign up? And then from your content strategy perspective, what's working really well right now for coaches, consultants, and service providers is these authority proof kind of content. Anytime you're showing proof that you're legit, that's what it's about, right? So it could be like, let's say you're doing YouTube videos. Here's how my client reached 10K a month helping other people, do this thing. Here's how my client escaped their 9-to-5 and built a full-time income in 90 days. Here's how I got booked 30 meetings a month and closed 50% of them. The results is what's the most important. In the online space, there's a lot of people that kind of make things up, right? They can like fake their Stripe account and stuff like that. So you want to not be like that, okay? Show results, be honest. Don't just like lie. People can tell. They can just see it in you. And the more real you are, you'll find that people want to work with you. Now, for increasing price, it really depends on what you're charging and how much you want to charge and what level of service you want, right? So there's a spectrum. Let's say if you're doing like courses, right? Make it once, sell it forever. It's very low commitment. On the other side, it's services. You provide an actual service, like I'll edit your videos and post it, right? You're doing the work. So the more work you do, the higher you can naturally charge. So that's why people don't want to spend like $10,000 on an online course, but they'll pay $10,000 for a whole agency to build out whatever. So you need to think, what price do you want to charge? And what do you actually want to do? Do you want to be more of a service provider and just have higher margins by charging more, which you absolutely could? Or do you want to do like coaching and group coaching, but still charge high? It just depends on you. And when it comes to increasing price, the rule of thumb I kind of go by is typically when you start, I usually recommend people charge 2 to 5K. It's just a price that kind of works for a lot of different offers, and it's a good starting point, right? Don't charge too low, like $1,000 and whatever. I mean, if you must, right, and that's the only way you can get the deal, sure. But if you charge 2K in the beginning, people will actually say yes. And when they do, you can just keep going up from there, right? You'd be surprised. People will pay. It's really just increasing your price and seeing if your closing rate is the same, right? So let's say you're charging 3K. If you increase the 4K and your closing rate was 50% at 3K and also 50% at 4K, then just keep it at 4K. And then you increase again to 5K and you see if the closing rate is the same. If it's lower, well, how much lower? And is it worth it? Because if it becomes too low, and you just kind of do the math, maybe you're not making the maximum amount of money you can. So it's all about maximizing the amount of money you make while doing the least amount of effort. And some people might say, oh, is that wrong? No, because why would you do the opposite? Who would want to get paid the least amount possible while doing the most amount of work? That's one way to think about pricing. Just keep increasing to see if the closing rate changes. The other way to do it is to keep the price the same. Let's say you're charging 3K, but remove services from your offer. So if you were doing, let's say 6 coaching calls for 3K, right? What about charge 3K for 5 coaching calls, see if the closing rate is the same. Then change it to 4 coaching calls and see if it's the same. So you just keep playing around with these numbers until you find the sweet spot that feels like I'm not really having to do a lot of work, but I'm making quite a lot of money. Even for me, like I'll change the pricing depending on who I'm talking to and the offer just to see what people say and test things out. And then once something starts working, I just keep running that strategy. And then once in a while, A/B test depending on what I want to test. We're going to move to day 61 to 90. This is where you stack your wins, you build your email list. This is like super important. And I'm surprised like not a lot of people talk about this a lot. The first is you're gonna have clients at this point. Every coaching call you do or whatever calls you do, if you're providing a service, record all of them, right? Use a software like Fathom, it's free, I use it. You record the calls or even just record a high quality version on Zoom so that you can use it for B-roll later. So like you can put it in your YouTube video like, hey, look at me, I'm coaching these people, right? Screenshots, people getting success. And when people have questions, your clients, then turn that question into content, because if they have that problem, chances are other people have that problem as well. The next really big one, this is huge actually, is you want to create like a simple newsletter to collect emails, right? Why do you want to collect emails? It's because email, you can directly talk to people without the algorithm stopping you, right? Like on YouTube, you put out a video, not everyone will see it, but on email, your entire list will see it. Like let's say you're booking 10 calls every month from your YouTube channel. If you just email these people like, 3 times a week, you'll probably book 20 calls or 30 calls because you're just following up with these people that didn't book. And then the people from month 1, they keep getting your emails, they keep watching your content. And then finally, when they're ready, maybe on month 4, they're like, you know what? I'm just going to book a call. That's why you need to be sending these emails. It will just multiply the amount of money you will make. Like the easiest way to do it is you just have a simple newsletter and you say like, hey, these are my 21 tips over 21 days to build your personal brand on YouTube. And then it doesn't even have to be a lead magnet. It can just be like a newsletter that's simply as that. And people actually sign up for that. It's just like, hey, this is my newsletter, check it out, right? And just do a shout out in your content. Now, if you want to do a lead magnet, you can also do that as well. So this whole document that we're using for the video, which I'll give to you, if you click the link in the description, you can get it for free and make a copy. This whole workbook is a lead magnet as well, because once you download this, you're going to be put on my email list. And then percentage of you guys are going to book a call or whatever the next step is. And then you're going to potentially buy my programs, right? By integrating naturally your lead magnet into the content itself, it's just like, it's not even a sell. It's like, you want this. It's going to help you leave your 9 to 5. Like, why wouldn't you want this, right? So that's how good you have to make your lead magnets. You don't have to make it fancy. You don't need like all these graphics and stuff. Like this is literally just a Google Doc, but it's high value because I know what I'm talking about. So email your list, 2 times, 3 times a week. If you can email them every day, assuming your emails are good, and then watch as you book more calls, and if you're selling something that's self-checkout, like an online course, they will just buy from clicking the link and then buying. Finally, after you do all of these things, we should be at day 90. And by the end of the 90-day sprint that we went through on this workbook, here's what you should have accomplished. We should have 1 to 3 client testimonials, meaning you're signing more than 1 to 3 clients, right? Because not everyone gives a testimonial. 500 to 800 leads that you've reached out to. Okay? At least, okay, minimum, okay? This is like low balling. 5 sales calls, that's just 5 calls a month. Okay, come on, we can do this, guys. And you should be pricing something, your offer should be at least, $2,000 per client. Okay, shouldn't be lower than that. And you should have a content strategy that focuses on authority and proof, and you know what to create every single day. You should also have that 1-page Google Doc. It could be also 2 pages if it's a little bit longer, for your unique selling method. In 90 days, if you just follow this blueprint, you will get ahead of 90% of people because you will actually have clients. And again, you can do this just 2 hours a day, 5 days a week. And that's not even including the weekends where you have the entire day. So there should be no excuse for you not to be building your business while you have the 9 to 5. You can be a dual income person making a bunch of money, or you can take your side hustle and make it the main thing. So if you've watched this far, you already know this isn't a dream anymore. This is actually a checklist, a playbook, a blueprint, a path someone like you can actually walk. You're not watching some big business guru give their 100th talk about how they're so successful at the top of the mountain. You're hearing this from someone who's just really a couple steps ahead of you, who still sends the DMs, who still takes the sales calls, who still builds offers, and who still remembers what it feels like to be caged in a 9 to 5. So if you do want to work personally with me, not some head of coaching, a junior coach, or an AI avatar. The people I work with, I actually know their names, I know your goals, and I spend hours every single week coaching all of my clients. So if you're watching this thinking this is exactly what you need, and you don't want to waste another 6 months just trying to figure it out by yourself, I got you. Go ahead and click the link in the description, sign up for the free training that I put together. And then once you do watch it, you get an understanding of my entire process on how I take people from employee to entrepreneur. And once you finish that training, I just need you to answer a few questions and book your clarity call directly with me. And I'm only offering these clarity calls for a limited time. So if you want to talk directly with me to see if it's the right fit, now is your time. And I will personally help you map out your 90-day escape plan. Now, here's the thing. You can keep watching creators who make you just feel good, or you can actually work with someone who's done it before and helped countless people do it at this point. It's really your call. But either way, this video should ensure that you're no longer stuck.